I love the topic of herd mentality because I think it ties a lot of the topics that we talk about in this class together. So we talk about status and self-image, and we also talk about groups and how they impact and affect us. And I think when you look at pack order or herd mentality, it kind of brings all of those in together. Consider that you need to be careful with who you surround yourself with because that becomes your pack and that becomes your guidance, so to speak. One of the stories I really like from the book, because I find it almost amazing, is that they asked people, you work as a manager in a company and you're offered a new position as a vice president, comes with this great title, vice president, but you do not get a raise. You get no additional change in your pay, no additional change in your benefits, but you do get the added responsibilities that come with being a vice president. And they asked people, would you be happier as the vice president with no increase in pay, or happier as the manager, staying as a manager but getting more money? And like 90 something percent of people said, keep your money, give me the title. So what does that say about us, and why would the title be more important to us than the money? Because it isn't always the money that drives us. A lot of times it is where we reside in the pack, where we order ourselves in that pack, and titles mean more to us than money. Studies also show that we're imitators. We know that, we mimic other people's body language across from us. But we also copy accents. If we're with somebody that has an accent, over a period of time, we'll begin to sound more like them, or maybe they begin to sound more like us. We develop the same emotional set. If they're happy, we become happy, and we're copycats. So that plays very well into pack order, right? Because we're copycats. If we don't have a strong opinion, we simply follow the opinion that other people have, and we do that by doing what they do. Still think pack's not important? Then think about high school, think about neighborhoods, think about families, and tell me that you do not think pack order is a critical element and can be used by marketers. We can belong to a lot of different packs, and when we talk about packs, unlike groups, we're ordered in these packs, right? There's a leader, and there are followers, and then there are omegas. That's the whole point of a pack, right? Is that you've got the alpha, who's the leader, and the omega, who's the follower, the follower. And you can even have people who are outcasted from packs. But packs can be very varied. So you may have a pack in your family. You may have a pack in your friends. You may have a pack at work, right? That you order yourself against. And it's really how you see yourself in relationship to other people. And why that's important, because you're either setting the standard or you're following the standard. You're either the person who is determining what is the product everybody should be buying, or you're the one following the person who's determining that. Or you're the person who's so far down on the bottom of the pack that you feel like you have to buy it in order to feel like you're part of it. So you might have, for example, you might be a parent, and you may order yourself in the pack of parents to see, what kind of a parent you are. Are you a good parent? Are you not a good parent? You might be a daughter or a son. You could be a friend. You could be a coworker. You probably order yourself a little bit as a student. And so packs and gangs and, things that are ordered like this, that's what we're talking about. Because this goes back to the concept that if I can get to the pack leader, then I will drive the rest of the pack. One of the stories from the book that's very telling about pack order was the towel story in Las Vegas, right? Las Vegas wanted to reduce the amount of washing that there was with towels and asked people to kind of reuse their towel for the good of, to improve the environment. That didn't work, by the way. When they put something on the back of the door that said, please help us by reusing your towel for the good of the environment, they got no response. It was fairly imperceivable. When they said cooperate with the hotel and be our partner in the cause, they even got less, if that's possible. The majority of people in the hotel reused their towel at least once during the stay, was another one, or the majority of people in this room reused their towel. And actually, it was the last one. The majority of people in this room reused their towel. Because one of the challenges that you face and that you have to overcome is that there has to be closeness and proximity when it comes to comparing yourself. You can't just compare yourself to this wide group of individuals that mean nothing to you. But by limiting it and saying people who had this room in this hotel reuse their towel, it allowed you to order yourself in a pack. So it's very important that you consider proximity when you're talking about pack order. If you're talking about all parents or all workers, we really don't relate to all parents or all workers. We need to relate to the parents on our street, in our daycare, to the workers in our company, in our department. That's what really gets us to respond. The challenge with PAC and what makes it so important is because we don't want to be in the minority. We don't want to be the outcast. We would rather be the omega, the very last person in the pack, than to not be in the pack at all. When solar companies, and this goes back to the previous slide, when solar companies said 8 of your neighbors already converted and are getting better results than you, it motivated the remaining people on the street to consider solar. Nest does this as well. When Nest is it's a thermostat that people have in their house that's very digital. And when Nest started sending out the bills and saying, here's what other people on your street are using for electricity, they found that it drove the electrical rates in that particular neighborhood down. So it's very telling, because it's very important to us to order ourselves in the pack and do as well as everybody else in the pack. And so more people are now trying to be in the majority than in the minority. They don't have to be the lowest, okay? They don't have to be consuming the least amount, but they want to feel like they're competitive with the rest of the people in their pack.